Okay, it looks like we're recording. Good evening. Welcome to our comeback crew Zoom call this evening. It's, oh my gosh, it's already what, November 19th. This is insane. I hope you all survived our early Black Friday specials. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Heather Webster. I'm over here in little Boise, Idaho. Yes, people live in Idaho. Who knew? And I am under Moonhee Bischoff, our fearless leader. Um, so I just wanted to tell you who I was in case you were wondering who this random person leading the call was. So I've been with Arbonne almost 5 years, and I'm a district manager, and I'm going to get my act together and be at the white party at GTC this year. So anyway, Moonhee wanted me to share a little bit tonight, really about this retreat I went to recently, a few weeks ago. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it was a little outside my comfort zone. But as we all know, where does the magic happen? Outside our comfort zone. So this kind of what I'm going to share, it's going to be a little, if you like to refer to it as woo-woo, as I call it. But really it centers around law of attraction, living in our center, and being peaceful. And ultimately, that is where all good things come from. So let me give you a little backstory. I met my friend Melissa Walsh, who is by trade a physician's assistant, so very Western, medically trained, works, I think at this point now she's working with an osteopath, so in an osteopathic practice, so that's a little more in alignment with what she's into. But she is also an energy medicine practitioner and spiritual mentor. And most people are like, oh, what the heck is that? And I'll try to explain a little bit. But I met her through a couple different groups, and we just have connected, and I've taken photos of her family because I am also a photographer in addition to my Arbonne passion. Anyway, she decided to start holding these retreats, and this was her first one, which was November 1st to 3rd. And it was literally in the middle of nowhere, Idaho. I have lived here for over 14 years, and it was in this place that's about 2 hours from here that I literally have never even heard of before. I didn't even know it existed. And it's like there's no cell phone reception, and you're really out in the middle of nowhere. But we were going to stay in this beautiful cabin and all that. Anyway, she put a little note out on Facebook saying, hey, I'm having this retreat. Leave a comment if you're interested in some information. As I mentioned, I know Melissa personally, and she's not all kind of, I don't want to be judgy, but she's not hippy dippy woo woo. Like, she doesn't come off that way. She's very like normal, for lack of a better word. Anyway, oh, yikes, sorry, my phone's ringing. I felt compelled to just say, sure, send me some information. She went to bed that night and was kind of laying there thinking like, okay, I'd really like some photos taken at this event, and her sister had gotten married out at this same area. So she asked her and she said, oh, I have these people and they can come in for a few hours and take pictures. But she's like, that didn't sit well with her. She's like, I wanted someone that could really be part of the weekend, but also capture photos and just not disturb the energy.
The host. Oh, here comes Heather again.
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry.
I thought we were in Moonhee's house for a minute.
My internet is being squirrely. I'm sorry. Anyway, long story short, she wanted someone that could fit into the weekend. And as she was laying in bed that night, she thought about me. And crazy enough, when she got up the next morning, I had left a comment that said, yes, send me some information. So this is my first little tip for tonight, or kind of leave you with something to ponder, is the law of attraction is a real thing. I feel that Melissa and I came together for me to be an attendee and a photographer at this retreat, which is something I would just totally not normally do. But we both left ourselves open and we came together and magic happened. So I took off to the middle of nowhere. Didn't honestly did not even really know. Like my husband was asking me like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't really know. I'm, get to hang out in my yoga pants and sweats and I'm taking a bathing suit because there's some hot springs and I'm taking some pictures and I might learn something about crystals, but I'm not really sure what I'm doing." But you know what? Say la vie, just go with it. So that's what I did. Um, so I know that this is something that maybe with everyone's insane busy lives and responsibilities and all of that. So again, I'm saying first world problems. But what I experienced over this weekend was truly an opportunity to cut out the noise and the chaos of everyday life. And my friend Melissa, in her energy medicine practice and spiritual mentorship, she really talks a lot about if you think about yourself standing strong, like on the planet, and we are connected, we have our center and we are connected to our greater good, which think of that as like a little cloud over your head. So many of us get caught up in past experiences and all the chaos of like, oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, or I didn't handle that right, or whatever. And we keep living in this like past space. And then we also live in this kind of like turbulent, I always imagine kind of like this tornado in front of us of like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? What's happening in the future? Like, how's this going to turn out? And like, what's going to happen? And like, blah, blah, blah. And like, we have almost these little tornadoes of our past and our future on either side of us. And we really get lost in that, where really we should be coming back to our center. And she talks about really feeling like almost you can feel roots through your feet into the earth and just really feel grounded there. And what happened over this weekend was we really got to experience peace and quiet. And that's, I think, why we were out in the middle of nowhere. Honestly, there wasn't really an agenda. And to be perfectly honest, that made me a little anxious at times because I am in the habit, and I want you to hear that. This is a habit, this is a default mode. So it's not something that's going to be something that we're going to snap our fingers and we're just going to be like, oh, I'm centered. I got uncomfortable because I didn't, at some points, because I didn't know what like the agenda was. And I commented to my friend, Melissa, because we did some meditation, which I am not a regular practitioner of meditation. And I also, this is another takeaway. It's called practicing meditation, kind of like you practice yoga. It's not something you're going to do one time and be like, dude, I got this. I meditate or I do yoga. No, you practice it because you are learning through practice how to come back to your center and how to get that focus and how to listen to your intuition. So there was a few times where she went around and she was really kind of focusing. There was only 9 of us there, so that was really great. And from all different backgrounds. I think my favorite thing was one of the women that was there who came in from Nashville is this very hot pink, bleach blonde hair, practicing attorney. Oh, but she also has a crystal pop-up shop. I mean, you just don't, you just don't know what's out there. I love that. I love this duality. I love the duality of my friend Melissa, who was leading us, who is a PA, very Western, but then is this energy medicine practitioner. And I personally think that that's where the magic happens. And we also talked a lot about left brain and right brain. We have both because they both serve a purpose. But I think a lot of us tend to kind of squash our right brain, which is where our intuition and those gut feelings and that type of thing live. So the left brain, it's very logic, it's learned, it's past experiences, and the right brain is our creativity, our gut feeling, our intuition. And ideally, you really want to make those equal. Okay. That like you should not cut out the left brain. We need that. Like that's super important. But if we can learn how to merge those closer. So sometimes I got uncomfortable because Melissa would be kind of talking and then focusing on one of us individually. And then she would just like leave silence. Like who right now was just feeling a little uncomfortable? I'm just going to say I paused for like less than 10 seconds and I'm getting anxious over here. But that's because we're living in these like tornadoes on either side and like it's okay to have quiet and to just live in that center space because if you don't quiet your mind and live in the center, it's really hard to hear your intuition. Now, how does this relate to our Arbonne businesses and our life and all that kind of thing? Well, I think we've talked a lot about our why and why are we doing Arbonne and why does this matter? And I have found really in the past few months as I've decreased my, I guess, left-sided brain self on sales and like numbers and and all that kind of thing and really focused more on my right brain of like how do I feel, how am I impacting lives, how can I serve people, and for me that's much more of my right brain. My business is reflecting that. I am bringing those things to be more equal and I'm finding peace. I am not caught up in someone didn't return a text because you know what? I'm living in my center. I'm living in my peaceful place. I know what my intentions are. That doesn't matter. Um, so we also practice, as I said, meditation a lot. This is not something that I've done. Um, if any of you are interested in kind of a easy meditation practice, um, and I can leave a comment on our comeback crew page, but I use an app by a man called Joseph Clough. And I heard about him about a year ago, or a little more than a year ago. And he has a ton of free meditation tracks. And then for like a fee, you can get this whole slew of meditation tracks. And he's English, and some people think his voice is very sexy. So anyway, whatever you want, but that's just one that I use. And I found it interesting because I was able to kind of bring myself into this meditative space. I'm not to the point where like a lot of the women there do this more regularly. So they were like seeing things or whatever. I mean, I have zero judgment on like if crystals help you bring your intentions or your angel guides or any of this other stuff that they talked about, which was a little, as I said, a little outside my comfort zone, but I am totally open and I don't judge. But with the meditation, again, that's just bringing your mind to that peaceful place. And I noticed on the last morning, on Monday morning, I actually thought we were going home Sunday evening. So I had to text my husband to be like, oh, by the way, I'm not coming home till Monday. Uh, so that went over well. But I had an appointment at 11 o'clock on Monday and so I'm like trying to meditate with the group on Monday morning. And I'm telling you, my squirrel brain was insane. It was like, oh my God, what time do I have to leave? And it's like, I felt those little tornadoes on either side of me. And yet the whole weekend I had really felt very centered. Um, so I'm referring to my little notes here to see if there was anything else. And again, with that law of attraction and kind of staying in your center, when you're in that more peaceful space in your center, that's when you can hear thoughts that come to you and really, I don't even know how to say it. I guess, yeah, just like I feel more centered and really get to like your heart center of like what you really want to do. And that then speaks to like, what do you speak about? Do you speak of prosperity? Do you speak of joy? Do you speak of abundance? And I know this again falls into that whole law of attraction. We hear a lot of people say like, oh, I don't have enough money, or oh, I don't have enough time. And guess what that's going to bring you? You don't have enough money and you don't have enough time. I know personally, if I'm in a hurry and I'm thinking about like, oh my gosh, I'm in a hurry and I need to get somewhere, I am telling you, the universe screams at me and gives me every red light, every single red light on the way. I encourage you guys to try this and be at a peaceful place. Like yesterday when it was all crazy, I was like, you know what? It's going to be fine. They'll figure it out. We'll all get our silly fizz sticks and it's going to be fine. So again, if you keep that again with your business, that is then going to pass along to your clients. So let me open. Do any of you have any questions or like, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. I know this is a little like woo woo, and you're like, why are we talking about this? But Moonhee wanted me to share this because I think it's just really important for us to move forward in our businesses. Again, whether you want to think about it as your why or think about it with the law of attraction and that type of thing. This business should be knitted in to who you are. We all had different reasons for coming into this business, but ultimately we can, if we are going to be successful, it's because it's going to weave into who we truly are and what our gut and what our intuition wants us to bring out into the world. If we're just focused on that left-handed brain part of like, how many sales do I have and how many, numbers and all this kind of stuff, most people are not going to be successful that way. So again, I encourage you, oh, hey, Moonhee, she hopped on. I encourage you to step outside your comfort zone. I mean, hey, are any of you that are on here, do you do this already? Do you regularly meditate? Shall I show you some of my crystals that I got? I mean, I'm telling you, I got a handful of crystals and I'm going to leave, I will actually share some photos. And again, my takeaway for this is, I guess the thing to do, ladies, since we're all ladies on here right now, is you shove them in your bra. This is what we were all doing. By the second day, I was shoving crystals in my bra. I mean, what the heck? But each of these crystals, because my friend who is the lawyer and also has the crystal pop-up shop, she gifted us these crystals. They each kind of have a different purpose or intention. And this is where I can connect and relate to it. Whatever you want to use to help you bring this intention forward and keep that in the forefront of your mind, whether it is you need courage or whether you need grace or whatever it is. If you want to shove a crystal in your bra and that helps you, you do that, okay? In fact, I need to bring my crystals out to throw them in my bra a little more often. So sorry, I know. Bottom line, step outside your comfort zone, embrace the calm center where the magic is going to happen, and find your peace and your purpose and bring that to your business. And you're going to be so much more happy and successful and full of gratitude. Okay, I think that's what I have to say.
I love it. I only caught like the last 2 minutes,
but
I
heard crystals in the bra, and she was like, "Oh boy, going off the rails."
So I have to tell you that when Heather was going to this thing, and Heather and I, in terms of like stuff like this, I feel like we're kind of at that same place. Like we're not completely opposed to it, right, but we haven't drank the Kool-Aid. And when Heather said she was going to this, I was like, you've gone a little woo-woo. Like you've gone a little, but the more, and you guys, and you guys have heard me talk a lot about the law of attraction. And the more I look and study and research and learn about the law of attraction, you guys, it works. I'm just going to tell you right now, I am not a journaler, and I don't know if you guys are. If you guys are, more power to you. I didn't realize or understand the power of journaling, but I started in September. I have a notebook, and I wrote, it's a small little notebook, and in that notebook every day I wrote down things that I wanted. I wrote stuff down as if those things had already happened in my life, right? So it starts off with Oh my gosh, drawing a total blank of what it starts with, but it basically, I have an amazing life. And then I kind of go into why it's amazing. And I talk about my family. I talk about my health. I talk about my business. I talk about my kids. And you guys, I can't tell you how much of that is coming true. Like, I just have to share with you guys that, first of all, I hope you guys all heard my Voxer message, my Tuesday tip, which is ending up being like a weekly announcement thing. But I just want to thank you guys all for your patience for everything yesterday. I know that I had talked to a couple other VPs, and you guys, their team was like flying off the handle. And so I just have to tell you how appreciative I am of you guys just keeping your shit together. Like, there's just something to be said. You guys clearly just understand. I'm not saying that you weren't frustrated, because let's be honest, I was frustrated as well as I was entering in my order for the 6th time. But I just want to thank you guys for being so professional about it all. I'm not saying that frustrations can't happen, but you guys handled yesterday with grace, and not everybody did. So thank you for that. But
and that's truly what I was talking about like kind of the little tornadoes on either side of you. If you just live in that center and believe that everything is going to work its way out. And it did.
Heather, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if
my
she's
internet's
breaking up
really
for you guys
right now. So, okay, carry on.
Oh, good. Yeah, so I'm excited to listen to your call, but to what you said before, the putting but it's amazing to see how much the journaling that I'm doing, and I'm not journaling like when I'm thinking about the day. I'm journaling literally the same passage over and over and over again, and I can't tell you how much of that is coming true. It's crazy. And the reason I brought up yesterday is, you guys, in one day we did $18,000 in volume. You guys almost doubled the volume that we had done up until yesterday. It's phenomenal. And so, so much of what Heather's probably shared before I got on, it's so true. And the more you can put yourself in that space of asking for things to happen, and then letting them happen, and keeping your mind in the right place, and and all of it, it can only benefit not only your business, but also your personal life as well. So I started to commandeer the call now that I've gone on, but Heather, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if she was breaking up.
Our internet out here has been very funky the last couple days, so I don't know if I'm still breaking up, but sorry.
Well, you have moments of clarity, and then you have moments of sounding like Heidi on those calls where it's very raw, like you're talking in slow motion. So
sorry, yeah, our internet.
All right, ladies. Well, we've got a couple minutes before Barbara's call starts. So let's go on, hop on over there. No worries. No worries. All right. I will see you guys all on Barbara's call in 2 minutes or 1 minute. Yeah. 3 minutes on my clock. All right. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.